These guys from a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty" want to talk to you, and I think and I said, you don't have to tell me what it's about. I said, if it's called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," you definitely don't need to tell me what it's about, and I'm going on. This is what I want to do.
It's a Seinfeld podcast. It's called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty." But I thought, this is what a podcast should be.
I just did the Seinfeld guys the other day. It came up.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh,
that one. Shout out. We've done it. I've done it. Have you did it?
I've not gotten a chance to do it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
It's so fun. They're so fun.
When I don't know, it must have shown up in my feed, but I see these guys tweeting about Seinfeld. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I find it's a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty."
One of the most popular Seinfeld podcasts is "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," co-hosted by Chris O'Hara and Tony Chula.
Welcome to "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is 2 Up and 2 Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off. Welcome back, Thirsty fans, and today another episode of 2 Up and 2 Down, and we are starting this episode with The Visa from season 4. So, Chris, how about starting us off with your first up here?
The Visa, January 27th, 1993. Friend of the show, Peter Melman. Masterful job here. And again, January 27th of 93, I love to do this, folks. What was going on other networks? Melrose Place was on Fox. Fun fact, Sandy, Elena Wall, another friend of the show, played a nurse that night on Melrose. CBS, of course, In the Heat of the Night, probably producer Chris's favorite show. And then, as always, ABC had Home Improvement, always a tough competitor back on those Wednesday nights. So here we go, folks. 2 ups, 2 positives of the show, and 2 negatives for the show. Whether we love it or not, we have to be fair analysts here. That's what we do. So, all right, listen, for me, I'm going to take this scene. We had fake products and fake restaurants bracket a few weeks back. One that was not mentioned was Isabella's. The scene at Isabella's is an all-timer. I mean, from George being there with Cheryl in the beginning, let's toast to toast, to Elaine and Jerry coming over and her doing the impersonation of the auto show. I thought that was remarkable. To them finding out that, and Cheryl saying, Pin is my cousin, all this stuff going on. And then obviously she goes to make the phone call, and George explaining, you don't have to be so funny. And then obviously, am I being funny right now? I don't know. All-time stuff. Just incredible. I mean, Melvin was masterful just in this scene. And then obviously Jerry doing the whole dark bit at Isabella's with the happy birthday. Remarkable. I mean, so much happened in this one little scene. It was so packed together. Ping, learning about Ping, the auto show, the table turned into an 8. We don't want to do that. I mean, are you being funny right now? You're being funny. Those 3, I don't know what it is. When they're at the dinner and couple, it's just, there's always great stuff. I feel like Melman does that a lot. So hats off. Isabella's scene, my first thumbs up.
Yeah, great scene there too, and In the Heat of the Night, great show. Carol O'Connor, man, Archie Bunker, can't go wrong there. Obviously, doesn't play the same type of character, but so Tony, over to you. What's your first up here for The Visa? Yeah, I know my partner. I wrote down in my notes. Oh, Isabella's. O'Hara loves Isabella's. I mean, that he took a lot there. I'll just say that. I mean, the entire scene's incredible. I wrote down 6 things for that, but that's okay. I'll give the whole scene. There's a plenty here. This is one of those episodes where you're just writing ups the entire time you're watching it. It's just like every other line's an up. So no problem there. And it is incredible. I mean, toast to toast. I love toast. I use it all the time. Jerry just laughing with her, the whole thing. It's so good. Can't not be funny. Inevitably, irreparably. All right. So he took the big matzo ball there, but there's plenty in this episode. I'm going to take the second biggest matzo ball, just because, I mean, Kramer, right? It's got to be Kramer's story. It's up there with one of the best Kramer
stories. I mean, this is why we love Kramer. I mean, he's a physical comedy, his physical comedy. He usually acts these things out in real time. Uh, Sometimes he tells a story and acts it out, and that's what we got here. Of course, we love the '61 Yankees team. He just every game he's got to get. He's getting Cleve Boyer in there. He's getting Hank Bauer in there. Obviously, Moose Scourin. It all starts off a Pepitone crowd in the plate. Joe Pepitone or not, I owe the inside corner. Just incredible. The whole thing there, the Heat music. I mean, you can just picture Kramer at this camp, just just the whole it's just an incredible he doesn't want to talk at first. Yeah, it's an incident, and then what happened? A fight at the ended early. Telling the whole story, then he stops, then he comes back to Elaine, tells her the rest of it, and Cleve Boyer. I just love when they bring in any type of ball players' names. Melman's got his hands all over this with Larry David. They're trying to figure out who else, and they're all great guys. I mean, that's kind of an easy one. We'll dive deeper into this, but he took Isabella's, which is an all-time scene. Like you said, I'm going to go Kramer coming back from the fantasy camp as my first up.
Oh yeah, that was definitely top of my list, the Kramer fantasy camp story. So yeah, great pick there. Over to you, Chris. What's your second up?
Second up, yeah, I kind of know he was going to go the Kramer route. There's so much here. I guess I'm gonna flip to the opening scene, if you don't mind. I mean, obviously George meeting Cheryl, then she goes away, and then obviously Jerry and Elaine come in, and George explaining everything she said. Thought I was funny. And then all of a sudden, this is the highs and lows of George, right? He's on such a high, and then he says, "I can't go any place but down now." No, I can't go down. And then Jerry gets distracted with Babu, whatever, and it's kind of George and Elaine kind of talking, and women want funny. I love the dialogue, and I love when Elaine kind of gives her perspective, and obviously, like men think across America, the women just care about money, and and George gets more upset, and obviously to talk about, are they going to go to Isabella's, and that whole speech of corduroy, like that whole opening scene was just, I don't know if I had to pick, I don't even know, like that kind of set the table, if you will, for Isabella's, right? And obviously we sprinkled in Babu and how we met Cheryl, and George was so confident, at the counter. I love when they're at the counter, it reminds me of, when he tells the story about eating the apple in the phone message, like they're just in the, George a little smooth guy there with the bald head and going after Cheryl. So the opening scene, love the whole thing. I'll see you in the building, Babu, right? So a lot going on there. I don't know how Melman packed so much in these two scenes that I mentioned, but unbelievable. So another enthusiastic up for the first scene.
Yeah, and then even in that opening scene too, George, they're discussing Kramer being at the fantasy camp, and George is like, people should plunk down $2,000 to live like Kramer for a couple of weeks, fall ass backward in money, mooch off your friends, have sex without dating. Oh, such great stuff there. So yeah, another great scene. Thanks for that vote there. Tony, over to you. What's your second up?
Yeah, my partner here, the producer, just took about 15 minutes of the show. 15 ups there. All right, we're good. I got enough written down. It's a hell of a show. I had all that in different stages. Yes, the corduroy is amazing. You never heard of corduroy? Incredible. I'll see you in the building. Incredible. I mean, you covered it all. El Clowno, I don't think you said, but that was great too. The best is when George gets mad at Elaine when he figures out. She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Wait, I'm right about this." When she tells him, "Yeah, they probably will leave you." Oh, that was great. Yeah, okay. So the entire first scene out, including the Costanza line that Schmid just gave, which is amazing. So we're good. I got enough here. This is an incredible episode. I'm going to the other one. Obviously, there's another huge matzo ball. I mean, this episode is so good. O'Hara gave 2 ups that encompasses 2 humongous scenes. I gave the Kramer thing that's an all-timer, and now I'm giving a George thing as my second up that's an all-timer. Obviously, when he tells Cheryl what's going on, thinking now she'll like him. Wait a minute, hold on a second here. You thought that was was crazy. Look what you're dealing with here. I'm nuts, I'm disturbed, I'm depressed, I'm inadequate. I got it all. I mean, the way he just turns the tables and thinks, I think he actually really thought, like, oh, she likes Jerry. He was disturbed. Wait till I lay it on her how crazy I am. And she just is like, I got to get the hell out of here. Incredible George in the car. He could see him like realize, oh, maybe I shouldn't have told her I was nuts. Really good stuff. It's just quintessential George, whenever he talks about himself like that, same thing when he gets rid of the toupee. Back to my old self again, completely inadequate. He just always loves piling on himself. But disturbed, depressed, inadequate, incredible. That's going to be my second up here for the visa.
Yeah, this terrific scene. So yeah, amazing. So those are the ups. Now let's go to your downs. Chris, what's your first?
Yeah, there's so many good scenes. I know we took a lot, but that's how, like I said, Mel, I don't know how he packed all these scenes, but there's so many of them that there's plenty ups to go around. Listen, been doing 2 ups and 2 downs a long time now, and I tell you, this episode I have the most struggles with downs as I think I've ever had. Okay, but here we go. And listen, sometimes it's you got to think a little differently, and this is an old Tony one back in the day. I'm gonna go with some of the wardrobe. Okay, Elaine was hilarious. Did these blazers, like she wore a black one in the beginning with some little fluff thing. You shift later, she went to another brown and red blazer, then back to the black blazer. I didn't like the blazer look, especially with cutesy Elaine. If you give me later Elaine, you give me some blazers, fine, but the blazers and Jerry had the turtleneck. Like, I get it's the 90s and that, but it looked ridiculous. It still looked ridiculous today. So we're usually not tough on the wardrobe, but in a pretty flawless episode, you got to nitpick here. I'm being a little critical of the wardrobe. So wardrobe's my first down, specifically Elaine and Jerry. They didn't look right.
Yeah, now that you mention it, like I always hated anytime Jerry wore a turtleneck, just a turtleneck, and so yeah, that's a good point. Like you said, it's tough on this episode picking downs. So Tony, what's your first down?
Yeah, I was just gonna try and find my notes. I think isn't George also wearing that weird brown shirt in this episode that he wears another time? I think he's wearing it in Monks. I don't like his brown shirt, but it's a good call. I mean, it's very hard. Like O'Hara mentioned, very hard to find downs. Again, I have 2 because you have to. So he didn't take 1, so I'm still okay. But the 2 I have, they're not going to bring this thing down too much. But all right. So, but my first down though, I'm confident in. And I don't know if O'Hara's going to like this one, but I'm going to do Babu in Pakistan. I think this gets overplayed a little bit. I mean, as amazing as Melman is, like O'Hara said, I mean, this is top to bottom one of the greatest written episodes between the Isabella scene and the original scene with George and Jerry and Elaine. This Babu with the, very bad man finger pointing. He's trying to, again, this is Melman sometimes likes to get those big, double dip type things. I think he overplayed his hand on this one. We don't need Babu in Pakistan. We just don't. I mean, it's 15 seconds, whatever it is, probably, but I think they overplayed it. The finger point became Babu's thing. Obviously, I don't think Babu needed a thing. I think Babu's great as he is. I'll see you in the building. This kind of thing is great. Wheels in motion, since we already did our ups. I mean, incredible. I don't need this that many times in such a good episode. It's a little bit gimmicky. So that's my first down is Babu traveling back home and badmouth of Jerry.
All right. Thank you, Tony. So Chris, over to you. Your second down.
Yeah, I had that as well. I was less concerned, like when I was watching this live, I didn't pick up on the bad man, and then they shoved it down your throat in the finale. But just him in Pakistan, yeah, I don't think they needed that, and it was kind of like the ending, and whatever. But I'm with you on that. Man, and I hate to double down on Babu, and it's almost like the down is going to turn into an up, if that makes sense. But I don't even know if it's a down. So Babu getting so mad, like, listen, you're in this country. You know, the mailman made a mistake. Relax. Now they did ship him out, but he was going crazy in that cage. Like, but then that turned into an up, with the wheels are like that was great stuff. The way they panicked, but Babu, calm down. Like he was so happy, and then like, would you get that upset if someone didn't give you mail? I guess it's a big, a big deal, but I don't know. Be happy you're in this country. The mailman made a mistake. Probably Newman, right? Oh, no, Newman wouldn't deliver to his own building, but maybe what? Who the hell knows? But that could have been fixed. Hey, the mail guy delivered here. Like, he went a little too crazy for someone, he loved in Jerry, right? As we saw them talking Monk. So, again, not the biggest down, but a little off. All right. So that's my second down.
Yeah, and if this form was so important, now I know it's the early '90s, so maybe it's not on the internet yet to download, but I'm pretty sure he could have called an office somewhere and say, "Hey, can I come pick it up? Can you resend it?" Blah blah blah. But so anyway, yeah, that's kind of, I see that as a valid down. So Tony, back to you. What's your second down here?
Yeah, it's that hard to find downs because that's yeah. I mean, you gotta get deported or he's gonna be mad. I mean, but yeah, it's hard to find downs. I get it. He goes, calm down, Babu. Get thrown out of the country. But it's hard to find downs. Listen, my next down again, like as I'm saying it, like this isn't even really a down, but I don't need Kramer going to Mickey Mantle's restaurant and getting on his knees, punch me, Mickey, punch me. I gave Kramer the up earlier because it was incredible. I think again, Melman was like, well, let's double down. Let's give Kramer another story because Kramer didn't have anything else to do in this episode, right? So let's get him back in Mickey's and tell that story. And Mickey hit me. Like, maybe they should have shown him going there and gotten some sort of body double like do it Steinbrenner. That might have been funny or something like that. But I don't need him telling that story too, because he's not going to do it as good as the first one, and he didn't. And it just wasn't. It just kind of landed flat for me. Now, is it bringing this whole thing down? No, but if I'm finding downs, I don't need that story. I think the first story was enough. The big, the one I gave already. This one's like, the Diggy Donuts, same thing. He kind of goes back there a couple of times and tells the story how we saw him in donuts again. Again, those were all similar stories and kind of ran the same kind of trajectory. This was such a big first one that the second one was kind of a letdown. So if I'm finding downs, and otherwise, again, great episode. That's my second down.
Yeah, and then Kramer goes there and he says that they threw him out of the restaurant into a horse. And like, I didn't find that funny at all either. So I'll take that as a down. So those are the ups and downs. Chris, over to you. What do you have for your final thoughts and grade here?
You guys are tough on Kramer, I'll tell you that. Listen, that's his childhood hero, Mickey Mantle. This guy's bigger than life. You never want to disrespect the Mick, and Mickey Mantle's restaurant there in Central Park, I'm not going to give that a down, but here we go. And listen, this is Melman. We talked about we got Kramer. We got how about Jerry back at Monk's with Cheryl, with the coffee. I think it's curdled. I don't care. I mean, love that. Sometimes I laugh in the tub. The wheels in motion, Tony talked about. Him and Elaine going there. Obviously, Babu, I gave a slight down. I mean, and then how about the Cheryl? Very underrated. Unbelievable. I love Cheryl. Babu's brother, not too fruity. I mean, ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-boom. I mean, this thing was just rocking and rolling. And then to finish off, you got Ping in the Knicks starter jacket. Listen, I love Ping. I mean, give me a break. She's a shock, the Terminator. I mean, holy cow. You got Ping. You got Babu. You got Babu's brother. You got Isabella's. You got some of the most iconic stuff, Corduroy. This, on this rewatch, this was as good as it gets. I mean, all four, this is our kind of marker. We're on all four, high cylinders, if you will. George, forget it. Jerry, I mean, and then Elaine was just like, Ping, Cheryl, I want to thank you. The whole lawsuit going on. So she had a lot going on. The auto show stuff, the dialogue with George. A+. Remarkable episode. I mean, this could be Melman's best. Very underrated. People think about The Virgin and some other stuff going on in season 4. The Visa just kind of, don't sleep on the Visa, folks. A+.
No, I always thought the Visa was a strong episode in a season that has so many great episodes. So A+, I think, is definitely a worthy grade. Tony, over to you. What do you got for your grade?
Listen, my partner I knew he loved this episode. This might be his favorite episode of all time. I think if you ask him tomorrow, it's number one. The enthusiasm is coming through. I wrote down Pink, Nick's jacket. I knew that was coming out somewhere. I mean, Wheels in Motion. The other one, the one thing you mentioned everything, but I love this line I had written down when George is telling Jerry not to be funny. Jerry's, how long I gotta do this for? George, after consummation. Jerry's like, consummation? You don't have material. Like, you're not gonna make it, dude. Incredible stuff there. I mean, he never heard of corduroy. He's one of the best Jerry's of all time. Toast to toast. Jerry, this is one of Jerry's best episodes of all time. Never mind Melman's. The way he flips that switch, the curdle thing, like you mentioned, the birthday stuff, just incredible. Kramer's fantasy camp thing alone is enough to put him on the map on this one. Like O'Hara said, it's 4 for 4. You throw in Ping, you throw in Babu, you throw in Cheryl. I wrote at the top of this thing, flawless. That's what an A+ is. That's what I'm also giving it. A+ Visa, hands down. This episode, again, like Chris just mentioned, it's you kind of almost forget about it sometimes. You know about Boo, Wheels in Motion, but kind of the more you dive into this one, it's just boom, 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 boom. Every
what about Babu and help me from the street. I will help you, Babu.
I will help you, Babu. I will help. Well, doesn't he need that? When Kramer stops his whole story just to chime in, like, well, that sounds important. Just incredible stuff. That's what mail is: letters, and junk mail, and bills, magazines. Incredible episode. A+ all around. The Visa.
All right, well, there you go, folks. That wraps up the Visa A+ episode, in our opinion. So let us know if you have any ups and downs of your own, and if this grade stands up to yours. And we'll see everybody on our next review. Thank you.